YouTube, what is going on? My name is Corporate Serf, and on screen here, you're looking at a world record holder. This is Snake Track Intermediate. I'm number 1 out of the 11,000 players that have played it this season. So in light of this accomplishment, I'm pushing out my personal smoothness routine to you guys so that you all can push your smoothness and improve your tracking. So first things first, what is this method? Well, to simplify it, it is training smoothness at every sensitivity range and benchmarking at key intervals. I'm going to tell you from the jump, this is a rigorous training routine. It will span multiple weeks. This is not just a one and done playlist for you guys to play. This is a whole program. It is not a good quick method. You're going to have to put in the time. So if you're the type of person that gets fatigued by VDIN playlists or don't really care about what you're doing here, this video is not for you. I'm investing my knowledge and my resources into you guys for the select people that are willing to take on this challenge. If you can't play for an hour and a half at a time, if you don't care enough that you can't follow something for a couple of weeks, you're on the wrong video. So thanks for clicking, but I'll see you later. So I briefly mentioned benchmarking. We are going to be basing this program and this routine off of TSK. Now this sheet right here is the TSK Extra benchmark. There are 24 unique scenarios, and they're divided into categories from vertical, diagonal, PESU, and horizontal. You all can get that sheet by following TSK on Twitter, and you can also join the Discord, and there's tons of other benchmarks. I'm going to tell you all right now, TSK made me the player that I am. I'm a Voltaic Precise Celestial, and as you saw, an intermediate world record holder, and that is because of my history with TSK. So let's go ahead and look at our day-to-day. There's going to be 6 different unique days. We're looking on screen here at day number 1. It's divided into those 4 categories. So we have vertical, diagonal, PESU, and horizontal that we're going to be working on every day. As you can see, within each day, there are 2 variants. One is 25% larger, that's called level 2. One is 30% smaller, that's called level 4. I have to give a huge shout out to Shimmy. Shimmy is the one that made almost all of these that I'm using here today. He's the one that popularized this type of training. Shimmy is Voltaic Astra for Season 4. He's an aim coach, and he's just really good at what he does. So if you're interested in his coaching, if he has slots, I'm not sure, you can check him out on Twitter. But thank you to Shimmy for a lot of these resources. But yeah, with the level 2 being larger, we're kind of tapping into our smoothness. Of course, all of this is smoothness, but with the bigger target, like that's the only thing you're really focusing. And then with the level 4, 30% smaller target, we're tapping into a bit of that precision. So within the same part of the playlist, VAI 1 Master TE, that is the benchmark for TSK. We're going to play that 6 times when we're playing this. All 6 of those plays are at one specific sensitivity target. The sensitivity targets that I'm setting for you guys to benchmark are 16, 24, 32, 40, 48, and 56. It's my personal belief that these 6 markers are the best at showcasing and proving your overall smoothness and overall skill relative to TSK. Looking back again at those variants, we can see from the playlist there are 7 plays. So 7 plays for each of the 2 variants plus 6 plays for the regular benchmark. We're talking about 20 plays for one portion of the daily playlist. Since there's 4 portions in a daily playlist, each day is going to take an hour and 20 minutes of playing. Personally, I don't think this is too long at all. If you guys have a problem with it, sure, you can reduce the play count. Really do whatever you want with it, but this is what I'm recommending. So with those 7 plays on each of these variants here, we're going to be looking at these sensitivity ranges 10, 20, 30, 50, 70, 80, and 90. For the 7 plays that you have, you're going to be playing on those 7 unique sensitivity ranges. You can also see on screen here something that I do for myself with my own personal playlists. I create little Excel spreadsheets and trackers so that I can track my best score at each range, compare my best score at that range to the overall median that everyone else has. It really just helps me stay focused on what I'm doing. Guys, these 2 that you see right here from Excel took me 5 minutes to make. I'm not making a sheet for you guys for these. You don't even have to do this part. If you want to, that's why I'm showing you it, but don't ask me to share my Google Sheets. Why we're doing it this way, I'm going to show an oversimplification, and this is from a previous video when I was handwriting everything. Pretty amazing, but and if you've gotten this far and you're confused, CM360 is the distance it takes you to have a full 360 degrees of motion when moving the mouse in one direction. So following on screen, 10 to 30 cm 360, we're using mostly our wrist and fingertips. I think I should say this as well. Obviously, this is the way I dumb it down. I oversimplify it. Like, you can use your shoulder at 10 to 30 cm 360. This is just generally what these best target. 40 to 60 cm 360, it's very arm dominant. Again, it goes without saying, but yes, you're going to be using your wrist and your fingertips here. Then 70 to 90 cm 360, you're going to be really focusing on your shoulder, your elbow, and a lot of your arm again. I really enjoy that like 90 cm 360 where I can just feel my shoulder and my elbow and everything working together. It's really a cool feeling, and if you guys haven't practiced that, it's going to be very beneficial to your aim. Okay, so I'm going to introduce you guys to this slide here, but I need to remind you guys, when we're talking about these 6 CM360 targets from 16 to 56, right? Going back here, we're going to go on the TSK main benchmark and hit File, Make a Copy, and we're making 6 copies to benchmark at for our 6 ranges. So I'll show you an example here. I have 16 CM360. This is for the TSK Extra benchmark. You can see I have 5 of 24 at the basic rank. This is just helping me keep track of my progress at 16 CM360 for TSK. So not to dive too deep into the weeds, but there should be one exception that I bring to you guys really quick. There's 2 scenarios that are close versions. That means your POV to the dot is very close. The first one is smooth your vertical close. The other is PTS close fast. That's a Pasu track one. All this slide here is trying to say you guys don't have to go any slower than 40 cm 360 when you're training these two. So like the example I gave here, if you're trying to go for intermediate complete at 48 cm 360, you can train the 2 scenarios we just named at 40 cm 360 instead of at 48. The other 22 you're training at 48, but those 2 you can train at 40. Alright, we're diving into what each week is going to look like on this routine. It's a little overwhelming. I mean, there's a lot of work on your screen. Take it one day at a time. Be intentional about what you're doing. Don't think too much about the scope of everything. Just take each task as it is and try to improve. You see all the playlist codes that are here on screen, but I will also have them in the description and in the pinned comment below. And the bottom right, again, since this is like the week 1 56 cm 360, I wanted to remind you guys you can play those 2 close ones at 40 cm. Week 2, of course, it's all the exact same work. You're just doing it this time at 48 cm 360. I want to explain something really quick here while we're on this screen. We are progressively challenging ourselves with this system. TSK is fundamentally easier when played at those lower sensitivity ranges. In training like this, we are progressively overloading. We're incrementally introducing challenge into our training. Week 2 at 48 cm 360 will be harder than week 1 at 56 cm 360. Again, in the bottom right corner, just reminding you guys you can train those close ones at 40 cm 360 if you need to. Week 3 here, not much to say, just training at 40 cm 360. Week 4, we're playing at 32 cm 360. This is where things get really difficult. This is the most challenging week in my opinion. When I say most challenging, obviously it's not going to be the lowest scores, it's just the hardest adjustment period. Week 5, we're playing at 24 cm 360. Then our last week here, week 6 at 16 cm 360. Objectively the hardest week in terms of our overall scores. Personally, I find this week to be very fun. I enjoy playing at 16 cm 360. There's some really great players out there that play 16 and 17 cm 360. R.A. Kirst and Docky. Docky plays 17 cm. Kirst has Nova complete at 16 cm 360, so almost anything is possible at this sensitivity range, so it's definitely important to train it. So while you're going through this program, I think it's really important you keep these targets in the back of your mind. I'm posing that you've demonstrated a level of mastery for smoothness when you can hit these targets. Some of you may find getting basic complete at 16 cm 360 to be the hardest. Others will definitely struggle on the other end at getting blessed complete at 56 cm 360, but overall these are, in my opinion, the targets that you should be shooting for in the long term. Obviously, some of you, if not most of you, will fall short of this, and that's totally okay. Here's a great example of a successful run of this program. The point of doing this routine is not a badge of honor or a club to join. It's really so that you guys can improve your smoothness. So if you don't hit the 6-week target, don't worry at all. This example on screen is a great run of this. Yours may look different as well. All that being said though, there are some of you that will excel at this challenge and will need even more work. If you are one of those few people, I have an extreme challenge for you. That includes going even faster on the fastest sensitivity range and moving it to 8 cm360, and then on the slow end getting blessed complete at 48 cm360. Making this routine, I believe that there is someone out here that can hit the goals you see on this screen right here. Basic complete at 4 cm360, blessed complete at 40 cm360. Someone out there can do these targets. Do they get a lot of sunlight? Maybe not, probably not. But they're amazing at the game. So I challenge you elite players out there to try for this. Then we got a pulse check. I don't think there's a human out there that can do this challenge. Basic complete at 2 cm360 and blessed complete at 32 cm360. Maybe if Maddie or Clover just decided they love smoothness and want to try this, that maybe they could. But otherwise, I don't know that anyone out there is going to be able to do this one. So with all that being said, I have our long-term goal here on the screen again for you guys to consider. But on the right here, being smooth is an important part of Kovaak. All I really talk about is getting better at Kovaaks, but if you're trying to get better at games too, it would stand to reason that improving your smoothness at all these ranges would have some carryover effect into your game of choice. The extent of how beneficial that is, I won't really say, but I value smoothness to my personal pursuits with the games that I play. So, here I am challenging to push yourself with this 42-day program. Actually, you know what? As I'm speaking, I think it's a 36-day program, because 6 times 6 would be 36. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go ahead and fix this real quick. Hold on. Okay, the slide is looking exactly as I intended it. 36-day program, of course, just as I thought it was when I started envisioning this plan and recording this video. Anyway, with this newfound information that this program is even shorter and even more accessible to everyone, I want to encourage you guys to give it a try and try for the long-term goals that you see here. Even if you never hit the long-term goals, how are you going to know what your limits are if you're never willing to push them? You'll never know what you can make of yourself if you don't try. So with that in mind, I'm sending you off. Go and make disciples of the smoothness path and become a smoothness god yourself. Thank you all for watching, for your support. I truly appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you all in the next video.